Great, great. Thanks, Anne, for having me. Thanks, Coders Evoke community and the Hack group for having me here. It's really, it's really nice to talk to students always, and you guys can always reach out to me on Instagram, LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, of course, the messages keep flowing, so I tend to miss a few messages, so don't feel bad that I was not able to reply to your stuff. But on Instagram, it's quite few, so yeah, you can just reach out to me whenever you want. Yeah, let me just share my window and let me know if you guys can see it properly. Perfect, perfect. Cool. So let's get started. As I said just now, that I'm not going to keep this session boring by a lot of theory and a lot of um, philosophical stuff. And I have minimal slides. These are just 20 slides, and even less than that, I think. Yeah, less than 20 slides. It's just 19 slides for today, or I think 18. Yeah, these are 18. So we are going to end the session very quickly, and then ask any question that you want to ask from me. And as I said, feed your curiosity. Let the questions come in, and if you have any questions, any doubts in between the session, don't hesitate to ask. So today's topic, of course, as Ayan said, importance of networking and importance of communities. And of course, I feel that personal branding is also something that I should include. So I've just added a touch of personal branding as well in this session. So we are going to discuss three things: importance of networking, communities, and personal branding. And yes, definitely, we should do all these three things. So these are what we're going to discuss today. Just ignore this group activity thing. So we're going to discuss why does a community matter? What do you mean by personal brand? What do you think? Why do you think you should invest your time in personal branding? The types of content and so on. I intended to keep a group activity initially, but I thought it would be kind of difficult to manage between multiple people, so I removed it. So don't worry about that. We can just have a Q&A instead. So, community building, what is the importance of a community? So, here's one quote that I have also always followed in my life, and I want you to follow in your life as well. So, I think that a person should never walk alone. You should always take our whole community with you. That's the difference between animals and humans, right? Human beings are social animals. We are made in a way that we can interact with others, we can communicate with others, we can help others when they need, we can ask for help when we need. And that's what human beings are. Um, that's the power that we have. I think some people say that the most important power that God has gifted to humans is the power to think. Well, I say that the most important power that God has gifted us is the power to network and the power to build relationships. That's the biggest thing, because um, no matter how much you say it, you can, as there is a saying, right? If you have to go fast, go alone. But if you have to go far or go long, go walk in a community, go together. That's the power of community. So the benefits of having a community, there are a lot of benefits. You can increase your network, you can take inspiration and stay motivated. For example, let's say Ayan, I'll take my example. Why to take yeah, why to take a random example? I'll take my own example. I was not very motivated, or I was not very curious about tech initially. And I was, in fact, a student of electronics and communication. I was not a student of computer science in my first year. I shifted my branch. So in my second semester, I joined this group called Apple Developers Groups. There was this guy in that group. He was so curious about everything. He wanted to learn everything. Whenever I looked at him, he was exploring something new. Whenever you talk to him, he would say, "What are you learning these days?" He would never gossip about, "Hey, do you know this guy is roaming around with this girl?" That's this guy plus girl thing. This is the most common thing that happens in colleges, right? But this specific guy, who was my kind of teammate in this specific club, he would never talk about these things. He would always say, "What are you learning these days? Hey, do you know Golang is the new thing? Hey, do you know what happened in this specific company? They have released their new policies." he would always talk about tech, no matter what, where you are, no matter how you are. He would always, he was so obsessed, I would say. It's a healthy obsession. Healthy obsession. The only thing required, I think the biggest thing required for success in any field is a healthy obsession. This is what CT Fletcher also says. If you follow CT Fletcher, he's a bodybuilder. He says that obsession is the biggest requirement for success, which I completely agree with. So yeah, he would always talk about tech, and I didn't even know what is Node.js in my second semester. I am not lying. I would just say that I knew HTML and CSS and just a little bit of it, and that was as bad as it could get. HTML and CSS is just kind of, it's nothing. HTML is not even a programming language. CSS is not a programming language. HTML is just a markup language. You cannot put any logic into HTML. Just knew that in web development. Although I didn't know C++ and all, I know Python. But what can you do with C++, right? You can, of course, do game development and stuff. But at that time, in first year, I didn't know about anything. I used to think that I used to write a lot of programs like print this pattern, solve this equation, do all this, do that. I used to think, where the hell are these things used in real world? Because of course nobody is going to ask you. I used to think, what do people do in these big companies? Do you think anyone working in some XYZ MNC would be asked to print a pattern of star, 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 those, that star ladder in on the computer? No, they would not be asked to do that. Do you think anyone in the anyone in any company would be asked during their daily job? Would they be asked to um, reverse the given string in the minimum possible time? No, they would not be asked to do that. So I was always thinking that why, and why are these, why are we doing these things, and what is, where is these things, where are these things required? C++, Python. I could not understand the real life usage of it. And then I got into Apple Developers Group, then I was introduced to web development, app development, and so on. And at the time when I was learning HTML and CSS, he was talking about Node.js, he was talking about full stack development. I was just getting introduced to front end, and he knew full stack. So I saw him as a healthy competition, and I got inspired by him. And that's what I want you guys to do as well. Be in a community. And there's one more quote, if you remember. There's a very famous saying that you are the sum average of the five people you spend most amount of your time with. So spend time with 5 millionaires, and you will see that in no time you will be a millionaire. Spend time with five software developers, you will see that in no time you are a software developer. But what we do instead, we spend our time with people who are just talking about, oh, do you know this guy is interested in this girl? This is not a good thing. And of course, I would not say saying something as good or something as bad would be very presumptuous of me, which I would not do. But everyone knows what is productive and what is not. I cannot say that is bad, but that's definitely unproductive. So choose your community wisely. And of course, Ayan, this is a message to you. I guess you are the leader of your group, right? Or whoever is the leader of your group. This is a message to them, that build that culture in your group, that every person in your group, when they are sitting alone, or when they are sitting alone, they should be thinking about tech. And when they are sitting in people, they should be talking about tech. And that obsession will will help you a lot. So, and that will not only help you, that will help others in your community to stay motivated and learn new things as well. The best thing about community, getting advice whenever you need, offering help when they need, and asking for help when you need, exploring so many things. I got introduced to blockchain development. I got introduced to machine learning, artificial intelligence, building bots, building these new AI stuff, a little bit of image processing as well, a little bit of security. I would not say I'm deep into network security, but just a little bit of it. Just a little bit of encryption and decryption, how to build a secure login system, and so on. Web development, backend development, iOS development, Android development, building desktop apps using electrons. I've built tons of desktop apps using electrons. All of this, I came to know about all of these just because of the community that I was a part of. So, if you feel you do not have that community in your college, be the leader, build that new community. Let me tell you how community helped me get my job as well. So, competitive programming is one thing that I really, really hate. I cannot, no, I really hate two things in my life. First thing is chemistry. When I was in high school, I used to hate chemistry. I could never think of one single reason why would anyone study chemistry. Why would anyone be interested in studying molecules and organic compounds and doing titration and all those things? I don't know what are the things we used to do, mixing NaCO2 plus something, HCl plus this, plus. Why are you interested in this? Of course, this is very important. Other because without chemistry, we would not have the area of pharmaceutical companies, and without pharmaceutical companies, um, these issues, the sickness and all these would have no cure. So I'm not saying that's bad, but for me, I never got a hang of it. And same thing happened with competitive programming. I used to hate competitive programming with all my spirit. I could never stand it. I was good at data structures and algorithms, but I knew that I need to practice more and more coding questions. And you see, when you are getting bored in doing things alone, the best way is just take some partner and do those things with them. I'll take an example. A lot of people get bored in gym doing workouts. A lot of people find doing workouts boring. They might have to do a lot of workouts regularly. They might have to eat clean daily, eat the same stuff daily. A lot of people find it boring, and it is boring. And how do you make it exciting? Just take some person along with you. Just find a partner, find a gym partner, and it will be exciting for you. If you find cardio, if you find running boring, just do it with someone else. Talk with them, and you'll not even know where all the time went away. And you would be, if you find cycling boring, just take some person with you on cycling, and you can cycle for 100 kilometers, and you would not even know about it. So that's the beauty of uh, staying in a community. So I thought, since I find competitive programming so boring, why not why not let's find some partners to do it. I didn't ask someone to sit with me and do competitive programming. Instead, I built a community. I said that for the next 60 days I would be solving one question daily, and if someone wants to join me, they are very well welcome to do this. And if you see, here's the repository, the daily code base. This has around, I don't know, 223 stars. And when we built a community, there were so many people, more than 1,000 people joined us. I was just thinking that even if one person joins me and I would do coding questions with them, I am more than happy because I'll get someone. And to your surprise, I got more than 1,000 people, which is totally unexpected. I was thinking of one person and I got 1,000 people, which is huge. So if you see here, we practice coding question daily from day 1 to day 61. No, day 60. That's the beauty of it. Start something like this. Just do anything. Create. There's a beauty in creation. God has sent every one of you to create something in life. Unless and until you create something, you will find that you are missing something. At least I do that. So I guess the meaning of life is in creation. You have to create something. Keep creating. Let it be some app. Let it be electronics machine. Let it be anything. Just create it. Blogs. Why not create some blogs? Why not create some anything? It can be creating a community. Keep creating. So this is my example how I could not do competitive programming on my own. It's not like I did not have skills. It's just that I found it so boring that I could never imagine myself doing competitive programming daily. But then I did it because there were people who were kind of doing it together with me. We were having a WhatsApp group. Why not do something like this? That's the power of community. So this was the first topic for today, community. The second topic is networking. If someone wants to ask me anything or if someone wants to discuss anything, let's kind of take a quick break of 1 minute to digest the content that I shared with you. So I just have three topics to share with you. The first one is importance of community. Second one is importance of networking, and third one is importance of personal branding. So the first one is over. If you want to digest this content, if you want to ask anything from me, keep the questions coming, and we'll just take a break of 1 minute so that people can digest. Because do you know, there's a saying that your attention span is equal to, I don't know whether this is correct or not, but I've heard this a lot of times that your attention span is equal to your age plus one number of minutes. So my age is around 24, so my attention span is 25 minutes. I think you guys would be in your first or second year. So in your second year, your age would be probably, I think, 19 years. So for you, your attention span would be 20 minutes. So after 20 minutes, you are expected to kind of remove your focus from things that I am saying to come something else, probably something on your phone, probably something on the Instagram, probably some I don't know, some text that your crush sent you last night or anything. So that's the thing. So after every 20 minutes, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to digest the content. We'll be back at exact 5:57. So Vaishnavi, don't worry, I'll tell you about what is personal branding. So Tushar is saying that, okay, just a second, let me drink some water. Okay, so Tushar is saying that I cannot find many communities around myself. So why not build one? That's what I was talking about at the start of the session. If you think that there is no community, I built this community, right? I built three communities till now. Although, again, I could not manage them for years, but at least all those communities went over at least till 1 year. And after that, a lot of people got placed and they were happy with their life, which is okay. So I formed three student communities till now. The first one was Logic Execution, second one was Code to Express, and the third one was the Lean Programmer, which is, I think I'll start creating the community Lean Programmer once again, which all of you would be welcome there. Stay in touch with me. I'll let you know when I create the community once again. But yeah, if you think you do not, I found that no community, like at least in my college, I found that every community was focusing on just creating events. Like they wanted to host events. That's it. Nobody was focusing on projects. Nobody was focusing on competitive programming. Nobody was focusing on their own members learning. Nobody was doing that. So I created my own community, Code to Express. That's what you should do, Tushar. If you find that there is no community that is fine fulfilling your needs, start a new community. That's the power of sessions as well. So you see, Akib has built a community called Versiton, and I guess Tushar and Akib did not know each other personally, but through this session they got connected, and of course, Akib asked Tushar to join the community. So all of these are going on the call. I don't know whether the people who are watching this session on YouTube would be able to see this conversation, but yeah. So Akib got connected with Tushar, and now Akib has a teammate with which he can build the community. That's awesome. That's what networking is. That's exactly. So Coders Evoke just mentioned that that is what networking is. If you want to see the uh, chat, I don't know whether the chat would be visible or not. So I think I will. Okay. So the next question is, how do you get placed at Microsoft? Okay, I can talk more about this towards the end of the session, but for now, let's jump back to the topic. So I just have one slide for networking today. So everyone knows your network is your net worth, right? Everyone knows, and that's the reality of life. If you have to, you can see anywhere. Um, Even if you have to get a job, the chances of getting a job increases when you have a referral. All of you would be aware of this concept called referral, right? So why is it so? Because the company, let's say any company, XYZ, trusts their employees. And those employees trust a specific person that he or she is good enough in that tech. So the company is trusting the person that the employee is trusting. That is what a referral is for. So networking is very, very important. So there are two kinds of networks. The first one is your bonding social capital, and second one is your bridging social capital. How many of you have completed that subject called, if I'm not wrong, graphs, the graph theory? How many of you have done that in your college? They do. Yeah, awesome. So most likely you will be studying about this bonding capital versus bridging capital. So this is not only true about your relationships. Yeah, this is actually true about the networks. And when we say networks, if you see all of your data analytics, if you see all of your kind of data science is kind of revolving around graphs, the personality graphs or the network graphs, where you would see the relationships between communities and try to build your models around it and so on. So this actually comes from there. This is a mathematical concept. So your bonding social capital is basically your relations within your group, the number of bonds that you have within your group, which means it can be anything. You can pursue it as a smaller group or as a larger group. When I say smaller group, your bonding social capital is your roommates, is your direct friends, and bridging social capital is relationship between groups. So let's say whenever you go to that, let's say your mathematics class, there is one group, there's one your group, you are a group of five, six people who always stay together. Then there is another group that sits on the last bench, which is again a group of five, six people. You are the group which sits on the first bench, and that is the group which sits on the last bench. You would always see that between every group there is one person who is common, who is the bond, who is the link. And I used to be that. So I used to be a part of multiple groups. So if just imagine your own circle, your own friend circle. You are sitting in the first bench and you have a group of first benchers. Then there's a person who is also connected and who is also friends with the last person, the people who sits at the last bench. And then the last benchers have their own group. So that person has a bonding social capital as well as a bridging social capital. So bonding social capital means your relationship between your first ventures, and bridging social capital means your relationship between the groups. There are two groups. The first group is the first ventures and the second group is the last ventures. This was at a smaller scale, at a very small scale. This can go up to n number of, you can just scale it up. For example, same profession. So a lot of us tend to stay together whenever we are in the same profession. So as soon as I think you can relate even now. If all of you are from if all of you are from social, let's say computer science and engineering, just think about it. How many of you know even a single person from mechanical branch? Just let me know. I want to hear your answer on the chat section. How many people do you know in mechanical? Just let me know. I'm waiting for you. So Tushar knows three people, Vaishnavi knows one person, Priyanshu knows two, Mubashir knows three to four, Sandeep knows one, and all about programming knows a lot. So all about and Junaid knows 220. Okay, God, he's cool. He's a cool guy here, so he knows a lot of people. And Ayan said, to be honest, no one personally, and that is expected. I was the same in my college, at least till second year. I did not even know a single person from mechanical branch, which is bad. If you think about it, you are limiting your own knowledge, isn't it? Just think about it in such a way that, let's say, you are very very good in web development, and one day you're talking to your friend in mechanical, and he has a amazing startup idea. But that startup idea involves a little bit of programming as well as a little bit of mechanical work, because the basic sciences, all the sciences are interconnected. Whenever you're building a real project, let's talk about a simple thing as simple as ATM. How many of you use ATM? All of you, right? The ATM, the machine that gives out cash whenever you uh, insert your ATM card. Everyone knows about it, right? So that machine itself involves a lot of mechanics, because that machine has to put out the cash from the cash window. That machine has microprocessors and a lot of chips. So it includes electronics. That single machine also has a software which runs on top of it, which asks you what is your PIN, what is your username, what is your password, and so on. And then how much amount do you want to withdraw, and so on. It has software, it has hardware, it has mechanics, it has electronics, it has everything. So that's the thing, right? You can never learn everything on your own. There are multiple domains. You cannot learn biology, you cannot learn chemistry, you cannot learn electronics, you can learn anything but not everything. And that's where your bridging social capital comes into the place. Let's take one more example. Let's say, um, let's say something as simple as you just got your first job, you started earning, it's your first year when you are earning. How many of you know that people have to file an ITR? How many of you know? I just want to hear a yes or no. What is an ITR? Do you know what is an ITR? So Vaishnavi knows ITR, income tax return. Yes, Junaid answered it. So everyone who is earning should like ethically file an ITR, income tax return. There are people who don't, which is not good, because the money that goes to the government is being used for the country itself. But anyway, you should definitely file your ITR, and you have to. If you don't, they will catch you and they will put you in the jail. So yeah, that's super important. But now, let's say while filing, this is your first year, you just got a job, you know nothing about filing ITRs, you know nothing about income tax, you know nothing about various sections that are there in your income tax returns, you know nothing about you can save some tax. Do you know when you are doing an apprenticeship or internship, you can save some amount of tax? You are not liable to pay the exact same tax as a regular FTE would do. You can save something in that, because those are multiple sections of our constitution, right? Those are multiple sections of income tax department. If you do not want that, if you are kind of alone, you would end up paying that a huge amount of tax, whereas you did not want you were not liable to pay that much. But whereas if you know someone from CA department, or if some of your friend who was in commerce department, you were from science, and if your school friend was in commerce, you can just go ahead and approach him and ask him or her that, hey bro, hey, or hey, just explain me these various sections in the ITR. That's the benefit of it. The things that you cannot do, your network can. So there are endless examples. I will not eat up a lot of your time, but that's the point. Your bonding social capital is within your group. That group can be your relationship between the people who are like you. For example, same professions, same hobbies, same goals, etc. Bonding, that's your bond inside a circle. And you're bridging. So if you just imagine it. So whenever I talk to people, or whenever I kind of teach people anything, let it be programming, let it be tech, let it be non-tech, what I say to them is, do not just listen to me, be an active learner. Because you see, when you are just listening to me, you are relying on your memory. Your memory is very volatile. Your memory is your RAM. As soon as you go to sleep, it is going to shut down, and you're going to forget most of the things that you learned today. Whereas you know about RAM, right? It's not a permanent storage. As soon as you close your device, your RAM is going to forget everything that it did. Whereas your uh, Your experiences are your permanent hard disk drive. Everything is going to stay there if you experienced it, right? So, oh, awesome. So your professor also told this line. That's nice. Yeah. So experience everything. Um, I don't know whether all of you know Hindi or not, but there is a very famous saying by a very, I don't know who said this. I just listened to uh, this years ago. So there was this guy, very famous guy. Someone asked him that आपकी स्मृति इतनी अच्छी कैसे है? स्मृति means your memory. How is your memory so good? And that guy told him that किसने कहा कि मेरी स्मृति अच्छी है? He said that who told you that my memory is good? I can't even remember a lot of things. But then the person who was asking him said that, but you tend to remember everything. When you are talking, when you are giving your lectures, when you are giving your speeches, you can you can say stories that were from 2000 years ago. You can say stories. You can tell us about the lives of those amazing people. You have everything in your mind. You don't even stop for a moment while speaking. How can you say so spontaneously? How is your memory so good? Then he said that it is good because I do not rely on my memory. I rely on my experiences. उन्होंने हिंदी में बोला ये बात कि मैं इतने अच्छे से इसलिए बोल पाता हूँ क्योंकि मैं अपनी स्मृति पे भरोसा नहीं रखता, मैं अपनी अनुभव पे भरोसा रखता हूँ, which means that he relies on his experiences and not his memory. Your memory is very volatile. If you rely on your experiences are going to stay with you forever. You don't know what you ate last week, but if something that you ate last week caused you indigestion, you are going to remember that, right? Just think about it. When was the last time you ate from a hotel or you ate from a restaurant, and that specific food, uh, after that specific food, you ended up having loose motions? You are never going to forget that experience in your life, and you are never going to forget that this specific hotel, nobody should go to this restaurant, nobody should go to this specific hotel. They serve miserable food. That is your experience. You were not able to remember where you ate last night. You were not able to remember what you ate last night, but you know everything about that night because that is your experience. So, and same goes for good experiences too. There are multiple things. There are some places like um, I remember when it was, I think in 2018, I was doing an internship, and it was my birthday. I was not even expecting, and my teammates took me to a lunch in a five-star hotel. I was not expecting. Trust me, I was not expecting. It was such an amazing experience. I remember every second of it. I remember every person's name in that. It's been 5 years. 5 years is a huge time since I saw them, since I met them, since I talked to them. Yet I remember every single person's name. I remember every single person's face. I remember every single person's voice. I remember each and everything that happened that specific day where we went. It was a five-star hotel in Bangalore. I remember what all we ate. I remember what all did we discuss, and it was an experience. It was a beautiful experience, right? So do not rely on your memory. Rely on your experiences. That's what I say to everyone. So start building your bridging social capital, bonding social capital. I'm 100% sure everyone builds that, but build your bridging social capital as well. Talk to people who are not like you. Talk to people from different branches. Talk to people from different age group. This is very important. This is something that I follow, and this is something that I want you guys to follow as well. Stay in touch with people who are 5 years younger than you, and stay in touch with people, at least two people 5 years younger than you, and at least two people 5 years elder than you. The people who are, I don't know if you want to record this line, just record it. If you want to write it somewhere, write it down. This is so important. Stay Keep in touch with at least two people who are 5 years or 4 years younger than you, and keep in touch with people who are 4 or 5 years elder than you. The people who are 4 or 5 years elder than you have much more experiences than you. You can learn from their experiences, and the people who are 4 to 5 years younger than you have a lot more knowledge than you because things are evolving. Our next generation is always going to be more intelligent than us. This is what the evolutionary theory says, and this is how science and life works. The next generation is always going to be intelligent than us. And you guys are more intelligent than me. I know this for sure. Ayan is 100% more intelligent than me. You guys, Amit, Junaid, Sandeep, Akib, Sushmita, Vaishnavi, you guys are much more intelligent than me because that's what evolutionary theory is. The world is always evolving. That's why I would want to stay in touch with you guys as well. You want, if you want, you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn or on Instagram. Again, on LinkedIn, I'm not that active these days because it's a lot of kind of messages flowing in and out. So just just get in touch with me on, just ping me, just send me a message on Instagram. The username is the lean programmer, instagram.com/the lean programmer, and I would love to stay in touch with you. So that with that, our second section also ends, which was the networking. Now, I guess you already know the importance of networking, and I hope you will start building your professional network from after this session itself. So, yeah, that's again, we are going to take a 2 to 3 minutes break here. And yeah, so Akib just asked me to send me my Instagram ID, send him my Instagram ID. So okay, I've sent my Instagram ID on the group. And before we move forward, I have one task for all of you guys. And the task is everyone who is present here. I see, I guess, I don't know how many people are here. Some people would be on YouTube, some people are here on the Google Meet link. Everyone who is watching this, just take a screenshot of your favorite slide. It can be this, it can be any slide that you like the most. Just take a screenshot of that slide, or just take a screenshot of whatever you see on the screen. And as soon as the session ends, go to LinkedIn and post that yes, today you learned about something. Just post everything that you learned about, right? This is your task for you. I talked about communities, I talked about network, and the last thing that I'm going to talk about is your personal brand. Why am I asking you to do that? It's because if that will be a kind of a revision for you. As soon as I end this session, as I said, memory is volatile. It's your random access memory. It's your RAM. As soon as you go to sleep, गया सब नल बटा सन्नाटा वो बोलते हैं ना और या फिर वो that meme खत्म टाटा बाय बाय that how many of you have seen that meme खत्म टाटा बाय बाय so that's the scenario with your memory अभी आपको लग रहा है कि आप सब समझ पा रहे हो but as soon as you go to sleep gone everything you're not even going to remember 10% of the things that I said today so that's the thing. And so just take a screenshot of any slide you want and put it on LinkedIn and write about it. उससे क्या होगा? When you write about everything, you will be forced to revisit that. And when you will be forced to revisit that, by revisiting, you are going to experience it. Right now, you are listening to it. While doing that, you will be experiencing it. And when you are experiencing it, you can at least you can remember it till a little bit more longer period of time. So let's take a break till 6:20 and we'll be back at 6:20, right? If you guys want to hear more stories, I can share more stories till then. Just let me know, yes or no. I have a quick, very interesting story coming up. I can remember a very interesting story, which is around the same thing that things that just revolve at the front level of your brain versus things that go deep inside. So Aditya, Sandeep, okay, since two people are saying yes, I want to hear more yes. Awesome. Cool, then I'll go ahead. It's not my story again. Again, I just keep listening to people. I just keep talking to people. This is something that someone else told me. I don't even remember. It's been years since I had listened to the story, but it's quite interesting. So the thing is, there was this There was this guy, a very rich guy, who lived in a mansion, and he had a security guard who would always stay at his gate, right? Then there was a saint who was living in that area itself. He was very, very well known saint. Then one day, what happened is there was a group of guys who came and started fighting in front of this guy's house, the rich guy's house. And then, as soon as they started fighting, the rich guy became very angry and he came out and then he started fighting with them and he started beating them and then he went back. The saint saw all of these things and he came to the door and asked security guard and said that we should not fight. Fighting is the baddest thing. We should not be angry. He lectured him for 1 hour. And the security guard said, yes, बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो आप. I usually I keep mixing Hindi words in between. Don't mind that. And if in any place you're not able to understand Hindi and just let me know. I'll repeat that in English as well. तो एक टाइम था कि एक बहुत अमीर बंदा था, उसका बहुत बड़ा बंगला था और सिक्योरिटी गार्ड भी था. और एक दिन बाहर लड़ाई होने लग गई, वो आ गया, वो भी लड़ने लग गया और वो वापस चले गया लड़ के. फिर अचानक से एक सेंट आया. वो सेंट सिक्योरिटी गार्ड से बात करने लग गया क्योंकि उसका सेंट का तो डायरेक्ट एक्सेस था ही नहीं ना उस बड़े आदमी के साथ. तो बड़ा आदमी था, वो तो रह रहा था अपना बंगले के अंदर. तो वो भाई वो कैसे आ जाता सेंट अंदर एकदम से. वो सिक्योरिटी गार्ड को समझाने लग गया कि यार ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए. लड़ना तो बहुत बुरी बात है, गुस्सा करना तो बहुत ही ज्यादा बुरी बात है. बिल्कुल नहीं लड़ना चाहिए, बिल्कुल गुस्सा नहीं करना चाहिए. अब सिक्योरिटी गार्ड भी कहता कि यस यस यू आर सेइंग कंप्लीटली राइट, आप तो बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हो. ये सब हो गया. 1 घंटे का लेक्चर हुआ, 1 घंटे का पूरा प्रवचन हुआ और फिर वो चले गए. अगले दिन फिर वही लड़ाई हुई. फिर वो अंदर से इंसान आया, फिर उसने गुस्सा किया, फिर लड़ा हुआ, फिर वो वापस गया. अगले दिन फिर सेंट ने देखा ये सब कुछ, फिर वो वापस आया और फिर वो सिक्योरिटी गार्ड को समझाने लग गया कि भाई लड़ाई बहुत बुरी बात है, गुस्सा होना बहुत बुरी बात है. अगले हफ्ते फिर ऐसे ही हो गया, 2 हफ्ते बाद फिर ऐसे हो गया, ऐसे चलता रहा. तो कैन यू रेट दिस स्टोरी विद यू? Just think about this. Isn't it our own condition? Whatever we learn, a lot of people just think of it. Let's take one simple example. We all know that anger is a very bad emotion. It's a destructive emotion. And we always keep telling ourselves that anger is very bad, anger is very bad, anger is very bad. But then, as soon as someone fights with us, or as soon as someone says anything wrong about us, that voice that comes from within your mind, deep level of your mind, it's not coming from your conscious mind, it's coming from your unconscious mind, which is in Hindi we call it as अचेतन मन. वो अचेतन मन से एक आवाज आती है और वो टेक ओवर कर लेती है. वो तुम्हारा मालिक है, राइट? वो तो बड़ा बंदा है और तुम्हारा जो कॉन्शियस माइंड है वो बस एक सिक्योरिटी गार्ड है. तुम उसे समझा रहे हो. You're making your conscious mind learn that yes, being angry is a very very bad emotion. It's a destructive emotion. But as soon as someone fights with you, अंदर से वो बड़ा बंदा आता है and he takes over, वो लड़के चले जाता है और तुम्हारा कॉन्शियस माइंड बस वो सोचता ही रह जाता है कि यार लड़ना नहीं चाहिए था. Your conscious mind did not fight. It was your unconscious mind that did all the fighting. Let's take one more example. Your procrastination habits, right? कल सुबह मैं 5 बजे उठूंगा. कल से मैं जल्दी उठ रहा हूँ भाई, बहुत लेट नाइट हो गया, बहुत मस्ती हो गई, मैं कल सुबह से 5 बजे उठूंगा. अभी जो कल सुबह से 5 बजे उठने वाली बात है, ये आज तक हो नहीं पाई. आई एम श्योर तुमसे भी नहीं हो पाती होगी. मेरे से हो गई, आई समटाइम्स गेट अप अर्ली, बट नहीं हो पाती. क्यों? क्योंकि वो उस समय जो उठने की बात आती है, 1000 अलार्म क्लॉक लगा लो, पर लेकिन अंदर से वो आवाज आती है कि भाई थोड़ी देर और सो जा. वो टेक ओवर कर लेती है और बस कुछ नहीं बचता. वन मोर एग्जांपल. ये एग्जाम गंदा गया, अगले साल फोड़ दूंगा मैं. ये तो सबके लिए कॉमन है ना. ये तो आई थिंक ये तो इट हैपेंड विद मी एंड इट हैपेंड विद एवरीवन. ये एग्जाम गंदा गया पर अगले साल जरूर फोड़ूंगा और अगले साल फिर से वही, कुछ नहीं चेंज हुआ. क्योंकि जब पढ़ाई की बात आती है तो अंदर से मन कहता है यार आज पार्टी कर ले, कल पढ़ेंगे, आज दोस्तों के साथ चले जा, कल पढ़ेंगे. So that voice should come from within you. You have to train your unconscious mind. And how can you train your unconscious mind? There is only one way, through experiences. So deliberately experience things, deliberately do things. For example, whenever you find yourself saying कि कल से मैं ये करूंगा, उसी समय करो. उसी समय कल से मैं पढ़ाई करूंगा, कल आए ना आए अभी शुरू करो. 10 मिनट कर लो, तो तुम्हारे अनकॉन्शियस माइंड को ना झटका सा लगेगा। यू विल फील लाइक भाई ये क्या हो गया, मैं तो सोच रहा था कल से करूंगा, तो ये तो अभी, इसने तो अभी पढ़ना शुरू कर दिया। तो जितनी बारी अपने अनकॉन्शियस माइंड को तुम झटका दोगे ना फोर्सफुली, वो उतना सीखेगा, वो सारे एक्सपीरियंसेस जो होंगे ना उसके अंदर जाएंगे। तो स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग एक्सपीरियंसेस, स्टॉप रनिंग बिहाइंड मेमोरी, स्टॉप, वो रट्टू तोता नहीं बनना तुमने, तुमने एक्सपीरियंस करनी थी। ठीक है ना, फिलोसफी 6:20 पे कंटिन्यू करना था एंड इट्स बीन 6:24, सी कहानी में लगा दिया मुझे भी। ठीक है, सो नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज how to build a personal brand and why should you invest your time in building it. So it's a question from all of you guys. How many of you know what is a personal brand? I just drink water. I want all the answers on the chat section. कितने लोगों को पता है कि पर्सनल ब्रांड क्या होता है? अकीब, तुषार, आयुष, तुम तीनों का आंसर सही है। That's what personal brand is. It's just how people see you, how people notice you, how what people think about you. Of course, I'm not saying that you should portray some version of yourself and be some other. That is not going to run. That is not going to be scalable. You have to be yourself. First requirement. But personal brand means what other people think about you. Whether you have to pay attention to it or not, it's your own personal choice. But the fact of the matter is that our brain judges people. That's a fact. And you all know, I will not twist my words just to be more diplomatic, because ये बहुत बहुत कंट्रोवर्शियल स्टेटमेंट हो जाता है ना कि जज कर रहा है ये बंदे को, ये दूसरों को जज कर रहा है। मैं बिल्कुल ट्विस्ट नहीं करूंगा इसमें अपने वर्ड्स। द ट्रूथ इज दैट योर ब्रेन इज जजिंग एवरीवन एट एवरी मोमेंट। मैं अभी बोल रहा हूँ, तुम मुझे जज कर रहे हो कि भाई ये तो कहानियां सुनाते रहता है। आई 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 बेट 50% ऑफ यू, तुम्हारे मन में ये चल रहा है कि ये क्या कहानियां सुना रहा है, क्यों टाइम वेस्ट कर रहा है, और बाकी 50% के मन में ये चल रहा है यार इसकी कहानी में दम तो हर बंदे के अपनी अलग जजमेंट है। एंड I get affected by it? No, I do not get affected by it. But I'm doing my own thing. I want to give my experiences to you. So I'm doing my own thing. But in a similar way, in unconsciously and unintentionally, I am building a personal brand as well. I am teaching you. अब कोई कह रहा है कि ये कहानियां सुना रहा है, क्यों कहानियां सुना रहा है, इससे कोई फायदा नहीं है। कोई कह रहा है कि यार ये सही कहानियां सुना रहा है, और कहानियां सुना रहा है, ये दोनों ने कहा, राइट? थिंक ऑफ इट वंस मोर। 50% तुम में से जितने भी लोग तुम देख रहे हो, ये तुम में से 50% ऑफ पीपल, तुम में से 50% ये कह रहे हैं कि यार ये क्या बकवास कहानियां सुना रहे हैं, और तुम में से 50% लोग ये कह रहे हैं भाई इसकी कहानियों में दम तो है। पर 100% ऑफ द पीपल आर सेइंग दिस कि भाई कहानियां तो सुना रहा है, कहानियां तो है। दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट टू ग्रो एज अ स्टोरी टेलर। आई वांट टू ग्रो एज अ पब्लिक स्पीकर। अभी मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ, आई एम स्पीकिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ ऑल ऑफ यू पीपल because I want to grow as a public speaker, and that is my personal brand. So this is what is your personal brand. So Jeff Bezos, पता ना Jeff Bezos भाई साहब कौन है हमारे? I think everyone knows that. Um, yeah, everyone knows. Jeff Bezos is the amazing guy who built Amazon. So he said this amazing thing that your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Simple as that. कि तुम्हारा पर्सनल ब्रांड कुछ नहीं है, सिर्फ इतनी सी चीज है जो लोग तुम्हारे बारे में बोलते हैं जब तुम कमरे में नहीं, राइट? एंड हाउ डज इट अफेक्ट? इट अफेक्ट्स यू अ लॉट इन लॉन्ग टर्म। आई ऑलवेज गिव दिस वन सिंपल एग्जांपल। तो ठीक है, किसी का भी नाम ले लेते हैं, ऑफ कोर्स आई नथिंग पर्सनल हियर, मैं बस ऐसे ही रैंडम नाम उठा रहा हूं, तो अगर तुम्हारा नाम लूं तो बुरा मत मानना। तो अभी क्योंकि लेटेस्ट कमेंट आदित्य का है, तो आई टेक आदित्य नेम। तो अब आदित्य जो है हमारे भाई साहब, ये बनना चाहते हैं प्रोग्रामर, बहुत अच्छे प्रोग्रामर, ये बहुत ही बढ़िया प्रोग्रामर बनना चाहते हैं, एंड ही वांट्स टू लैंड अ जॉब एट अ वेरी वेरी बिग कंपनी। तो ये सेकंड ईयर में है अभी, इन्होंने शुरू किया। बहुत पढ़ते हैं, दिन रात जावास्क्रिप्ट पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन इंस्टाग्राम पे मीम शेयर करते रहते हैं, लिंक्डइन पे भी मीम शेयर करना शुरू कर दिया भाई साहब ने। बहुत बढ़िया। और वो मीम्स टेक से रिलेटेड नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, रैंडम मीम्स। अकेले में तो बहुत पढ़ रहे हैं, पर लेकिन लिंक्डइन पे मीम शेयर करे जा रहे हैं लगातार लगातार लगातार। अब इमेजिन करो 2 साल हो गए इस बात को, अब 2 साल में इन्होंने इतना पढ़ लिया, बहुत पढ़ लिया कि ही इज एन एक्सपर्ट एट जावास्क्रिप्ट। तुम कुछ भी क्वेश्चन लेके चले जाओ, ये बंदा 5 मिनट में सॉल्व कर देगा। पर क्या क्या लोग जानते हैं इस बारे में? नहीं जानते ना। लोग को क्या लगता है कि यार ये तो बंदा दिन भर मीम्स देखता रहता है। तो यही सैड रियलिटी है कि आवर ब्रेन जजेस पीपल। हमें नहीं पता अंदर क्या चल रहा है दुनिया में लोगों के। कई संत हैं जो अंदर से बहुत पापी होते हैं, और कई पापी है जो बाहर से संत दिखते हैं। दैट्स द थिंग, राइट? बट लेकिन हम तो वही देखते हैं ना जो वो लोग दिखा रहे हैं। तो अगर तुम जावास्क्रिप्ट पढ़ रहे हो तो थोड़ा बहुत जावास्क्रिप्ट भी दिखा दो ना लोगों को। ऑफ कोर्स मीम्स शेयर करो, देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग इन शेयरिंग मीम्स। We should always be as realistic, well, we should be realistic and we should spread memes as well, क्योंकि मतलब of course smile spread कर रहे हो तो उसमें कोई दिक्कत थोड़ी ना है। पर क्योंकि तुम जावास्क्रिप्ट भी पढ़ रहे हो, थोड़ा बहुत जावास्क्रिप्ट का भी बताना शुरू कर दो। थोड़ा एक ब्लॉग ही लिख दो जावास्क्रिप्ट के ऊपर, हफ्ते में एक बार ही लिंक्डइन पे लिख दिया करो कि भाई जावास्क्रिप्ट में एक ऐसी चीज होती है। या फिर लेट्स से तुमने कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग शुरू करी, तुमने मेमोइजेशन का एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ा। तुम लोगों को पता है व्हाट इज मेमोइजेशन? आई राइट द वर्ड। मैंने जब मेमोराइजेशन के बारे में पहले सुना था ना, फर्स्ट सेकंड ईयर में, मुझे लगा मेमोराइजेशन है और ये टीचर गलत बोल रहा है। आई वाज सेइंग टू दैट टीचर कि सर ये मेमोराइजेशन होता है। मैं मेमोराइजेशन, मुझे लगा मेमोराइज करना किसी चीज को। यस, तुम लोगों को भी नहीं पता, राइट? तो लेट्स से अब हमारे जो आदित्य भाई साहब है, इन्होंने मेमोराइजेशन पढ़ा। इन्होंने पढ़ा कि जावास्क्रिप्ट में मेमोराइजेशन कैसे इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं। शेयर कर दो लिंक्डइन पे, इंस्टाग्राम पे एक पोस्ट शेयर कर दो, ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगेगा। और मीम शेयर करने से तो कम ही टाइम लगेगा, पर लोगों को पता लगेगा, राइट? तो अब एक है हमारे तुषार और एक है आदित्य। अब आदित्य ने 2 साल लगातार मीम शेयर किया। दोनों पढ़ाई इक्वल कर रहे हैं, दोनों ने इक्वल टाइम पे शुरू किया, दोनों ने 8-8 घंटे पढ़ाई करी। पर लेकिन तुषार जो है वो रोज रोज या एटलीस्ट हफ्ते में एक बार एक ब्लॉग लिख देते हैं हर चीज के ऊपर। जावास्क्रिप्ट में ये कैसे करते हैं, जावास्क्रिप्ट में वो कैसे करते हैं, जावास्क्रिप्ट में ये कैसे करते हैं। और जो आदित्य है उन्होंने बस मीम शेयर करे। तो अब तुम्हें क्या लगता है कि बाहर की दुनिया को क्या लगेगा कि जावास्क्रिप्ट में एक्सपर्ट कौन है? तुम्हें नहीं पता कौन है ज्यादा एक्सपर्ट, पर बाहर की दुनिया को क्या लगेगा? अब जो बाहर की दुनिया को लगता है उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है तुम्हें? फर्क पड़ता है, अपॉर्चुनिटीज तुम्हारे पास ऐसे ही आती हैं। इफ यू इफ यू हैव नॉलेज, शो टू द वर्ल्ड दैट यू हैव नॉलेज। What will you do it within yourself? You will get opportunities if you show to the world that you have knowledge. Don't brag about it. Just document your journey. Just document. आज today you learned about memorization. This is a new term, right? तो पढ़ो इसके बारे में और लिंक्डइन पे करो, राइट? राइट अबाउट इट ऑन लिंक्डइन। अभी तुमने पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग के बारे में, आई सी सो मेनी पीपल रोट नो। जब मैंने, आई थिंक वैष्णवी को नहीं पता था, वैष्णवी ने वर्ड नहीं सुना था ना, पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग। वैष्णवी, आई एक्सपेक्ट यू टू take a screenshot of this page and put it on LinkedIn today. Just experience, build up your experiences and build up, yeah, all these things. Okay, I'll not go too deep into it, but yeah. So basically, your personal branding is that something that shows what you are, something that shows what you stand for, something that shows your skills, and something that differentiates you from others. That's it. ये last की line बहुत important है. Your personal brand is something that differentiates you from others. पर लेकिन करें क्यों भैया? हमें तो मीम शेयर करने हैं, मुझे मजा आता है मीम शेयर करने में, मैं क्यों करूं? तो जैसे अभी मैं कह रहा था कि एक बंदा है तुषार, एक बंदा है आदित्य। अब तुषार तो रोज रोज जावास्क्रिप्ट के बारे में लिख रहा है, और ये जो आदित्य है, ये मीम शेयर कर रहा है। अब इससे दो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फायदे होते हैं। अच्छा, आई होप एवरीवन इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग हिंदी, राइट? मतलब डज एनीवन हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम इन हिंदी? आई कैन से एवरीथिंग 100% इन इंग्लिश। जस्ट लेट मी नो if you do not know Hindi. Just put a no in the chat group. ठीक है, so I'm expecting, since nobody wrote no, I'm expecting everyone knows Hindi. Cool. तो बीच बीच में मैं बोलता रहता हूँ, don't mind that, but I tend to repeat everything in English as well, so I think you will understand. So now, अब हमारे जो तुषार थे जिन्होंने जावास्क्रिप्ट के बारे में शेयर किया, और जो आदित्य थे जिन्होंने मीम्स के बारे में शेयर किया, तुषार को दो बहुत बड़े फायदे होने वाले हैं। पहली चीज है, तुषार जब कंटेंट बना रहा था तो उसने फिर से वही सब एक्सपीरियंस किया। आदित्य ने सिर्फ मेमोराइजेशन के बारे में पढ़ा, उसके फंक्शंस लिखे। और तुषार ने मेमोराइजेशन पढ़ाया कंटेंट के थ्रू। एक चीज है बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, द टीचर लर्न्स द मोस्ट, आई एम राइटिंग दिस इन कैपिटल लेटर्स, द टीचर लर्न्स द मोस्ट। ये चीज हमेशा याद रखना। जब तुम पढ़ा रहे हो ना किसी को, वो तुम्हारी आत्मा का पार्ट बन जाएगा। वो nobody can separate you, separate that knowledge from your soul. that's that's the that's why we say कि हम गुरु को गोविंद से ऊपर मानते हैं ना। ये हैव यू heard this line? कितनों ने सुनी है? गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े, काके लागू पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपने गोविंद दियो मिले। कितनों ने सुनी है? सबने सुनी है, 100% ऑफ द पीपल। पर मतलब समझा इसका? इसका मतलब यही है कि भाई टीचर जो है, टीचर की जो नॉलेज है वो पढ़ा पढ़ा के उसके सोल से मिल चुकी है। अब वो दूसरों को भी वो नॉलेज दे रहा है और दूसरों को भी अपनी सोल से मिलवा रहा है। और तुमने भी ये सुना होगा ना कि योर सोल इज योर गॉड। सोल इज आत्मा परमात्मा का हिस्सा। ये भी बहुत, आई थिंक एवरी रिलीजन सेज दिस। So your guru, your teacher is someone who is helping you find the knowledge, and knowledge is God. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is your soul. ठीक है, लेट्स नॉट गो टू डीप इनटू इट। तो अब जो तुषार थे, तुषार शेयर कर रहे थे, तुषार ने सिखाया, आदित्य ने सीखा, पर तुषार ने सिखाया। तो ज्यादा नॉलेज तो ऑफ कोर्स आई एम प्रीटी श्योर तुषार को ओवर द लॉन्ग टाइम, ठीक है, 1 महीने 2 महीने में कुछ डिफरेंस नहीं होगा, क्या पता आदित्य को ज्यादा नॉलेज है, बट ओवर द लॉन्ग टाइम 2 साल 3 साल 4 साल 5 साल 10 साल तुषार को ज्यादा नॉलेज होने वाली। सेकंड चीज, ज्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटीज किसके पास आएंगे, तुषार या आदित्य? ऑफ कोर्स तुषार, 100% तुषार। That's it. Tushar will be an opportunity magnet. Aditya will look for opportunities. Aditya will be spending time in searching for. Hey, don't get offended, yeah, Tushar or Aditya. I'm not saying this. I just took your name because तुम्हारा message सबसे ऊपर था. So, मतलब don't take it otherwise. ठीक है. So why should you invest in your time in building a brand? Because it gives you more credibility. It increases trust. It fetches you recommendations and recognition. Your network is your net worth. You improve your career and expertise वाली बात, right? गुरु, तुम गुरु बन रहे हो लोगों के। मुझे अभी क्या मौका मिल रहा है, मैं तुम्हें सिखा रहा हूँ। क्यों सिखा रहा हूँ? क्योंकि मैं ऑलरेडी ये चीज कर चुका हूँ और अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस अब मैं तुम्हें दे रहा हूँ। और सोशल मीडिया एक पावरफुल चीज है। सोशल मीडिया इज द सोशल, तुम लोगों को पता ही है सोशल मीडिया की पावर। सोशल मीडिया ऐसी चीज है जो कि एक एग को भी एक मोस्ट लाइक फोटो बना सकती है। और सोशल मीडिया एक ऐसी चीज है जो एक, हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट दैट गर्ल? आई थिंक देयर वाज दिस गर्ल, राइट, जिसने इंस्टाग्राम प्रोफाइल को अपना रेज्यूमे बना लिया था ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग में, एंड शी लैंडेड अ सुपर ड्रीम जॉब। तो एक वही सोशल मीडिया है जो अंडे को एक सुपर हीरो बना देता है, और वही सोशल मीडिया है जो एक ग्राफिक डिजाइनर को एक जॉब भी दिलवा देता है। Our social media is super powerful. You can say 10 or you can say hundreds of times कि भाई सोशल मीडिया तो इंसान को खराब कर रहा है, पूरे पूरे दिन लगे रहते हैं लोग इंस्टाग्राम पे। और सच्चाई ये है कि उन लोगों को सेल्फ कंट्रोल नहीं है। वो लोग अब दे आर दे आर दे आर नॉट हैविंग इनफ सेल्फ कंट्रोल। सोशल मीडिया बुरा या अच्छा नहीं है। सोशल मीडिया तो एक, अब सोशल मीडिया एक तलवार है। अब तुम चोर हो तो तलवार को चोरी करने के लिए यूज करोगे, तुम पुलिस हो तो तलवारों को जस्टिस के लिए यूज करोगे, राइट? इट डिपेंड्स ऑन तुम कौन हो। सोशल मीडिया तो एक वेपन है। इफ यू कैन यूज दैट वेपन ऑन अ वॉर जोन, और यू कैन यूज अ वेपन टू डू सम क्राइम्स इन योर कंट्री। It is just a weapon. A weapon can never be said it's a good or a bad thing. The person who is using that weapon is good or bad. So yes, leverage social media. रील्स मत देखो इंस्टाग्राम पे 10-10 घंटे, 10 मिनट देख लो, 20 मिनट देख लो, 10 घंटे तो बहुत ज्यादा है ना। So I'll just quickly tell you कि क्या क्या तुम बना सकते हो। तो there are 2 types of content. The first one is long forms of content, जिसको बनाने में टाइम लगता है बहुत ज्यादा, 4 घंटे 5 घंटे, 1 दिन 2 दिन, कई बार महीने भी लग जाते हैं। और सेकंड होता है शॉर्ट फॉर्म्स ऑफ कंटेंट, जिसको बनाने में बहुत कम टाइम लगता है। फर्स्ट वन इज लॉन्ग फॉर्म which takes a lot of time to create. Second one is short form which takes hardly any time to create. The short forms of content are very easy, but they are less informative as well. Like tweets, quotes, gif, कोई भी gif आया शेयर कर दिया ट्वीट। अभी मेरा मन कर रहा है कि अभी तुमने लेट्स से मेमोराइजेशन के बारे में सुना ना, तो लिख दो, ट्वीट करो, जाओ ट्विटर पे जाओ, ट्वीट करो कि मुझे पता ही नहीं था मेमोराइजेशन क्या होता है, माधव टोल्ड मी, आई यूज्ड टू थिंक कि मेमोराइजेशन होता है। तो मेमोराइजेशन इज आल्सो अ कांसेप्ट। जाओ ट्वीट कर दो, Did you guys know it's not memorization, it's memoization? All programmers know that. ऐसे कुछ भी random, but you can memes, promotional links. ठीक है, मैं भी memes share करता हूँ. I'm not against memes. If you go to my Instagram profile, I don't know whether you can see it on the screen or not. If you can see it on the screen, I again don't know whether you can see it or not. But if you see, you can find. So you cannot see because I have shared that screen only. But ठीक है, जाना instagram.com/theneamprogrammer पे और तुम देखोगे, मतलब हर 2 दिन में मैं एक मीम शेयर करता हूँ. मतलब आई लव क्रिएटिंग मीम्स. पर ठीक है ना, मतलब आई बैलेंस इट आउट. इट्स माय पैशन. आई आई लव मीम्स. और उसके साथ साथ ब्लॉग्स भी लिखता हूँ, मैं यूट्यूब पे वीडियोस बनाता हूँ. कीप अ बैलेंस. हाउ डू यू डिफाइन अ परफेक्ट लाइफ? अ बैलेंस्ड लाइफ. अ बैलेंस्ड लाइफ इज अ परफेक्ट लाइफ. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि भाई बिल्कुल ही सब कुछ छोड़ के एकदम सन्यासी बन जाओ, और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि सब कुछ गलत ही करो. तो आई थिंक एक मीम था ना कि अ, भजन भी करता हूँ, पाठ भी करता हूँ, कहीं संत ही ना बन जाओ इसलिए पाप भी करता हूँ. पता नहीं तुम लोगों ने सुना है कि नहीं, मेरे को तो बड़ी हंसी आई थी इस पे. तो ठीक है ना, दैट्स लाइफ. बैलेंस एवरीथिंग. So long forms of content, articles, blogs, carousels. Blogs is the best thing. Like you do not need to record your voice, you do not need to show your face, you do not need to record your video. Whatever is in your mind, put it in your words. That's it. Blogs are best. Go to medium.com right now. अभी नहीं, बाद में जाना. Medium.com पे जाओ, create your website, create your account, start writing, start publish your blog this weekend only. Who's stopping you? White paper, industry news, webinars, research papers, all these. These are called long forms of content. So ideas, there are ideas all around us. Share something knowledgeable, just a practical roadmap for web development. Just share something. Share your journey. Just say, I became a top writer in productivity once. So I just shared it with everyone, and everyone liked it. Share some interesting news that any news you can just, आज कुछ नया तुमने तड़कता भड़कता सुना न्यूज में, शेयर कर दो. Why not? Everything is a content. Share a story. जैसे अभी मैंने तुम्हें स्टोरी बताई ना, वो वाली कि एक बड़ा आदमी था और एक उसका सिक्योरिटी गार्ड था. वो संत जो था, वो जो टीचर था, वो बस सिक्योरिटी गार्ड को सुनाया जा रहा है कहानी. वो बात पहुंच ही नहीं रही बड़े आदमी तक. अब तुम्हारा बड़ा आदमी तुम्हारा अनकॉन्शियस माइंड है. जो कहानी मैं तुम्हें अभी सुना रहा हूँ, आई नो वो तुम्हारे बड़े आदमी तक नहीं पहुंच रही. इट्स नॉट रीचिंग योर अनकॉन्शियस माइंड. कैसे रीचेगी, कैसे रीच होगी, कैसे पहुंचेगी वो तुम्हारे अनकॉन्शियस माइंड तक? एक्सपीरियंस इट. स्टार्ट क्रिएटिंग कंटेंट. स्टार्ट. अगर तुम नेटवर्किंग का सिखाया मैंने, फर्स्ट चीज सिखाई मैंने कम्युनिटी. कम्युनिटी का पार्ट बनो, तब तुम्हें पता चलेगा कि मैं क्या बात कर रहा था. नेटवर्किंग करो. जब तक तुम नेटवर्किंग नहीं करोगे, वो ब्रिजिंग सोशल कैपिटल नहीं बनाओगे, तुम्हें पता नहीं चलेगा कि मैं किस चीज के बारे में बात कर रहा था. थर्ड थिंग, कंटेंट क्रिएशन. जब तक तुम कंटेंट नहीं क्रिएट करोगे, तुम्हें नहीं पता चलेगा मैं किस चीज के बारे में बात कर रहा था, उसके क्या फायदे. तो आई वॉन्ट द थिंग्स दैट आई एम टेलिंग यू टू बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ योर सोल. आई डोंट केयर अबाउट योर कॉन्शियस माइंड, क्योंकि वो वोलेटाइल है. व्हाई वुड आई केयर अबाउट योर रैम? आई केयर अबाउट योर हार्ड ड्राइव. आई वांट टू बी देयर फॉरएवर. आई वांट आफ्टर 5 years कि तुषार मेरे पास आए कि और कहे कि भैया आपने मुझसे कहा था यार ये सारी बातें, और मैंने करी ये सारी बातें, और आज इसकी वजह से मुझे ये मिला है. तो भाई थैंक यू. बस बस 5 साल बाद अगर मैं थैंक यू सुन लूंगा उनमें से किसी एक से भी, जो भी बस बैठे हैं यहाँ पे, आकिब, तुषार, अमित, it will it will make me happy. That's it. That's why I am spending 2 hours of my weekend. सैटरडे को तो सब मजे करते हैं ना रात को. मैं यहाँ पे पागल थोड़ी ना हूँ जो बैठ के तुम्हें लेक्चर दे रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे 5 साल बाद तुम में से किसी एक से थैंक यू सुनना है. आई एम वेरी सेल्फिश. क्लियरली बोल रहा हूँ, आई एम वेरी सेल्फिश. तो ठीक है, शेयर अ स्टोरी. यू कैन शेयर योर स्टोरीज. You can document your journey, right? ठीक है, when I created my first React tutorial, it was 1 a.m. at night, and I just wrote this. I got very emotional. This is my first React tutorial, and it will be out tomorrow. And people liked it a lot. So document your journey. So this is your task. Don't forget about this. Everyone who is watching this right now, you have to take a screenshot of whatever you like, and then you have to post on LinkedIn. उसमें जरूर मुझे टैग करना, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगेगा. आई वुड लव टू सी कि लोगों ने क्या क्या सीखा, और कोई सीख पाया भी नहीं, कोई अपने आत्मा का पार्ट बना पाया जो मैं बकवास कर रहा था, या फिर 100% ऑफ द पीपल थॉट कि भाई ये तो बकवास कहानियां सुना रहा है. तो देखना है कि कितने लोगों को मेरी कहानी अच्छी लगी, कितनों को बकवास लगी। तो जस्ट गो टू लिंक्डइन, वहां पोस्ट करना, टैग करना मुझे भी। मुझे चाहिए कि तुमने क्या क्या सीखा अपने शब्दों में, मेरे शब्दों में नहीं। राइट इट इन योर ओन वर्ड्स, व्हाट ऑल डिड यू लर्न टुडे, जस्ट राइट अ पोस्ट अबाउट इट, टैग मी, आई वांट टू नो हाउ व्हाट ऑल डिड यू लर्न। यू कैन टैग द कोडर्स इवोक ग्रुप एज वेल, या जिसको भी टैग करना है, दैट्स योर विश, पर पोस्ट जरूर कर। एंड देन ऑल यू नीड टू, तो ठीक है, आइडियाज, आइडियाज कहाँ से आए? All you need to have is to get ideas, and this is not only true for content ideas, this is true for startup ideas, this is true for business ideas, this is true for content ideas, every idea. Ideas are all around you. All you need to have is an open and curious mind. First thing, curiosity, जिससे मैंने स्टार्ट किया था ये सेशन। जो लोग YouTube पे देख रहे हैं उनको नहीं पता लगेगा, क्योंकि तब तक वो लाइव नहीं हुआ था। पर ये सेशन स्टार्ट होने से पहले आई डोंट नो, किसी ने तो मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछा था, आई थिंक ये पूछा था मुझसे कि फर्स्ट सेकंड ईयर में आपने कब से मतलब पढ़ाई करना और ये सब एक्सप्लोर करना कब से स्टार्ट किया? तो आई आंसर्ड देम कि जब मेरी क्यूरियोसिटी जागी तब से। तो ऑल यू नीड इज अ क्यूरियस माइंड, फीड योर क्यूरियोसिटी, यू विल गेट एनीथिंग दैट यू वांट एंड कैन हैव इन लाइफ। हैबिट ऑफ एक्सप्लोरिंग न्यू थिंग्स, हैबिट ऑफ रीडिंग, लिसनिंग, लिसनिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। बोलो कम, सुनो ज्यादा। अभी देखो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, आई बेट अगर अगर यहाँ पे 100 लोग वो वीडियो देखेंगे, तो 100 में से सिर्फ 10% पूरा सुनेंगे, और 10% में से 1% उस पर काम करेंगे, और वो 1% ही आगे जाएगा। देखना, उस 1% को ही वो यूजफुल नॉलेज होगी। अगर तुम इंप्लीमेंट कर रहे हो चीजों को, एज ए सेड एक्सपीरियंस, अगर तुम एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो चीजों को, वो तुम्हारी सोल का पार्ट बन जाता है, वो आत्मा का पार्ट बन जाता है, उससे तुम्हें कोई अलग कर ही नहीं सकता। कोई नहीं कर सकता, कितना मर्जी तुम कितना मर्जी मार लो पीट लो बंदे को, तुम ये नहीं कह सकते कि भाई ये बात भूल जा तू, जो माधव भैया ने सिखाई हो। नहीं, नहीं भूल सकते, वो बन चुका है तुम्हारी आत्मा का पार्ट, तुम कितना मर्जी भूलना चाहो नहीं भूल पाओगे, क्योंकि तुमने इंप्लीमेंट किया। पर उसी सेम जगह पर कोई तुम्हें कितना मार पीट ले, तुम्हें फोर्स भी नहीं कर सकता कोई चीज याद करने के लिए। दैट इज बिकॉज योर मेमोरी इज अ रैम, वो नहीं याद रखती चीजों को। तुम उसे, और हार्ड ड्राइव इज योर परमानेंट मेमोरी, तुम उसे कितना मर्जी मार लो वो भूलेगा नहीं। योर सोल, योर अनकॉन्शियस माइंड इज योर परमानेंट मेमोरी, यू कैन नॉट टच इट, कुछ भी कर लो वो नहीं भूलेगा। और योर कॉन्शियस माइंड इज योर अपर लेवल ऑफ योर माइंड इज वोलेटाइल, इट्स योर रैम। तुम अभी सुना 5 दिन बाद भूल जाओगे। तो हाउ डू यू फाइंड योर निश? बहुत सिंपल है कि कंटेंट कहां से बनाना शुरू करें। सिंपल सी बात है, फर्स्ट थिंग इज आस्क योरसेल्फ व्हाट आर योर ब्रांड गोल्स। डू यू वांट टू बी अ पब्लिक स्पीकर? आई वांटेड टू बी अ पब्लिक स्पीकर एंड आई एम डूइंग थिंग्स इन दैट which aligns with that, right? I'm taking a session in front of you because I wanted to be a good public speaker. Second चीज हो सकती है, let's say you want to be a full stack web developer, you can be a back end developer, तो जो भी तुम्हारे ब्रांड का गोल है, what इस चीज का आंसर तुम्हारे पास होना चाहिए कि लोग तुम्हें किस चीज के लिए जाने। आई वॉन्ट पीपल टू रिमेम्बर मी फॉर द थिंग्स आई टीच टू देम। मैं एज आई एम सेल्फिश, मुझे चाहिए कि भाई 5 साल बाद तुम में से कोई एक आए मेरे पास और कहे कि यार सही बोल रहा था ये बंदा। तुम्हारे तुम्हारे क्या गोल है? ये मेरा गोल है, तुम्हारा क्या गोल है? तो व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट मेक यू हैप्पी? तुम्हारे जो गोल्स है, तुम्हारे 10 15 18 19 20 कितने भी गोल्स हैं, उनमें से वो चीज कौन सी है जो तुम्हें असलियत में हैप्पी बना रही है? क्या जावास्क्रिप्ट तुम्हें सही में हैप्पी बना रहा है, या फिर वो डांस करना तुम्हें हैप्पी बना रहा था, या फिर वो चेस खेलना तुम्हें हैप्पी बना रहा है, या फिर सिंगिंग करना तुम्हें हैप्पी बना रहा है? सच सच बोलना अपने आप से, क्योंकि अपने आप से जो झूठ बोलता है वो तो फिर कभी कुछ कर ही नहीं सकता। अगर तुम्हें सिंगिंग भी हैप्पी बना रही है, तो सिंगिंग के ऊपर कंटेंट बनाओ यार। इंस्टाग्राम पे जो सिंगिंग और डांसिंग वाले इन्फ्लुएंसर है, तुम्हें तो पता ही है ना, मतलब आता जाता हो नहीं, फिर भी लोग इन्फ्लुएंसर कहते हैं, क्योंकि लोग इन्फ्लुएंस हो जाते हैं उनसे। दैट्स द पावर। और उन सब चीजों में से तुम गुड किस में हो? लेट्स से तुम्हें सिंगिंग हैप्पी बना रही है, जावास्क्रिप्ट हैप्पी बना रहा है, डांस हैप्पी बना रहा है, पर इन सब चीजों में से तुम जावास्क्रिप्ट और सिंगिंग में गुड हो, तो ठीक है, एक दिन जावास्क्रिप्ट का कंटेंट निकालो, लिंक्डइन पे जावास्क्रिप्ट के बारे में लिखो और इंस्टाग्राम पे डांसिंग के बारे में लिखो। लिखो नहीं, मतलब वीडियोस बनाओ, दैट्स इट। तो that's very easy way to find your niche. The gist of the story is कि you should be very clear about your goal. What is your goal after 10 years? What do you want people to remember you for? And the second thing is what are the things that make you happy? Just combine those two things and do something. And while you are creating the content, be inclusive, right? Do not spread hate with your post, क्योंकि कंट्रोवर्सीज करके हेट करके आगे बढ़ना बहुत इजी होता है, पर लेकिन वो लॉन्ग टर्म में नहीं चलता. तुम जो जो तुम बीज बोते हो वही काटते हो ना, वही फसल काटते हो. वो इंग्लिश में क्या कहते हैं कि यू सो यू रीप व्हाट यू सो, ऐसे कुछ होता है ना. मतलब एज यू सो एज यू रीप, कुछ ऐसे ही करके होता है. मतलब जो तुम आज बोओगे वही फसल काटोगे. तुम हेट स्प्रेड कर रहे हो सोशल मीडिया पे, वो हेट एंड पे तुम्हारे पास ही आएगी. तुम जो भी कर रहे हो बहुत सिंपल है ना. तुम आज पढ़ाई कर रहे हो तो कल को फल तुम्हें ही मिलेगा. तुम आज मीम्स बस पूरे टाइम मीम शेयर कर रहे हो, मीम्स लोग तुम्हें मीम शेयर करेंगे, which is not bad. I'm not saying anything is bad. It would be very presumptuous of me to say that this is wrong, this is right. But what is wrong is in your hands, right? It's you have the definition of wrong and right. Anything that does not align with my goals is wrong for me. It might be right for you. For example, for example, लेट नाइट पार्टीज. आई नेवर एंगेज इन एनी लेट नाइट पार्टीज. क्या लेट नाइट पार्टीज रॉन्ग होती है? बिल्कुल भी नहीं. किसने कह दिया लेट नाइट पार्टीज? बहुत फन होती है. एक बार ही गया था मैं, एंड इट इज सो मच फन. पर लेकिन मेरे गोल्स के साथ अलाइन नहीं करती. मुझे सुबह उठना है, तो आई विल नॉट स्टे अप टिल 3. वंस अ वाइल चलता है, एक साल में एक बार, 6 महीने में एक बार, 4 महीने में एक बार चलता है. बट देयर आर पीपल जो कि हर फ्राइडे हर सैटरडे को रात रात 3-4 बजे तक सो रहे हैं और फिर पार्टी कर रहे हैं. उनके गोल होंगे, क्या पता, उनके अपने गोल होंगे. पर तुम्हें ये अपने आप से पूछना है कि जो तुम कर रहे हो, जो तुम फ्रीक्वेंटली कर रहे हो, वंस अ वाइल की कोई दिक्कत नहीं. वंस अ वाइल तो वही था ना अभी कि भाई पूजा भी करता हूँ, पाठ भी करता हूँ, संत ना बन जाऊं इसलिए पाप भी करता हूँ, वो तो चलता है. वंस अ वाइल इट्स गुड. बट यू हैव टू आस्क योरसेल्फ इफ देयर इज समथिंग दैट यू आर डूइंग फ्रीक्वेंटली which does not align with your goals, then तुम किससे झूठ बोल रहे हो? तुम्हें खुद से पूछना है. तो रिमेंबर, डू नॉट स्प्रेड हेट विद योर पोस्ट, क्योंकि वो हेट तुम्हारे पास ही आ जाएगी. ऑथेंटिसिटी, डबल चेक द फैक्ट्स दैट यू पोस्ट. मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि तुमने मेमोराइजेशन के बारे में सुना, पढ़ा है नहीं ठीक से और बस पोस्ट कर दिया. तो गलत चीजें मत फैलाओ. ओरिजिनलिटी, मेक ओरिजिनल कंटेंट. ओरिजिनल कंटेंट कैसे बनाओगे? अपने थॉट से. इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूं कि जो तुमने आज सीखा मुझसे, वट एवर यू लर्न फ्रॉम मी इन दिस सेशन, राइट इट डाउन इन योर ओन लैंग्वेज ऑन Instagram or on LinkedIn. That will help you get originality in your posts. Show your sources. कहीं से तुम फैक्ट उठा के चेप रहे हो तो उसका नाम लिख दो ना नीचे कि भाई ये सो एंड सो पर्सन है जिसने एक पोस्ट किया था, तो वहां से मैंने उठाया. सिंप्लिसिटी. अब सिंप्लिसिटी से तो ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. मतलब एक बहुत लर्नेड इंसान, लेट्स से एक बहुत लर्नेड इंसान है. देयर इज वेरी वेरी लर्नेड पर्सन, बट ही स्पीक्स इन अ वेरी टफ टू अंडरस्टैंड इंग्लिश. You know whom I'm talking about. Like, I will not take names, but you all know there's this one guy who, जिसके वर्ड्स इंग्लिश के जानने के लिए डिक्शनरी खोलनी पड़ती है, राइट? क्या फायदा भाई इतना ज्यादा ऊंचा लंबा बोल के भी, जो दूसरे को समझ ही नहीं आ रहा. कम्युनिकेशन तो वो है ना. ही I think that guy fails to understand one thing, that communication is not something that you are speaking. Communication is something that the other person is understanding. तुमको हिंदी में ज्यादा समझ में आएगा, मैं हिंदी में बोलूंगा. तुमको इंग्लिश में ज्यादा समझ में आएगा, आई विल स्पीक इन इंग्लिश. तुमको कोई और लैंग्वेज में ज्यादा समझ में आएगा, आई विल ट्रांसलेट इट. आई विल यूज गूगल ट्रांसलेट टू हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड. पर लेकिन तुम्हें समझ में आना चाहिए ना. ये गोल होता है ना कम्युनिकेशन का. इफ आई एम टॉकिंग टू समवन and he or she does not even understand what I'm talking about, what's the point of it? So I'm talking to you right now. Yes, the person whom you जो सुन रहा है ये बात, you might be on YouTube or you might be live here. सिंप्लिसिटी से इंपॉर्टेंट कुछ नहीं है लाइफ में. तुम्हारे कोड में, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट में फर्स्ट चीज सिखाते हैं, क्या सिखाते हैं? किस सिखाते हैं. नाउ अगेन, दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच people who don't know about KISS might take it otherwise. I want people to answer here. What is the meaning of KISS? Tell me. This is the first principle that they teach in software development. कोई भी अच्छा सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट का टीचर सबसे पहले सिखाएगा KISS, दूसरा चीज सिखाएगा ड्राइव. बताओ मुझे, तुमने पढ़ा है तो बताओ. What is kiss and what is dry? I'm waiting. Come on. नहीं पता तो बोल दो ना, नहीं पता. Come on, guys. Anyone? Okay, I'll write a question here. What is KISS? Okay, I'll say. I think अब सब लोग सो गए हैं अब तक. ठीक है. KIS stands for keep it simple, stupid. Some people say it as keep it simple and sweet. Some people say it as keep it simple, stupid. Right? Okay, did you? Oh God, I think people were answering it. Ah, I was not able to see the chat. It was scrolled up. That is so stupid of me. So a lot of people were answering, and and yeah, I could not see it because my वो मेरी chat पूरी ऊपर scroll हुई पड़ी थी. Anyways, so yeah, everyone knows about KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. In your software development, the first thing, मतलब इतनी बड़ी ऐप डेवलपमेंट होता है, इतना कुछ कोडिंग होता है, जावास्क्रिप्ट, जावा, गोलैंग, नोड जेएस, पता नहीं क्या क्या, कितना कुछ होता है. पर वो क्या सिखा रहे हैं तुम्हें? पहली चीज तुम्हें सिखाते हैं कि भाई किस योर कोड, विच मीन्स कीप इट सिंपल एंड स्वीट. योर कोड शुड बी सिंपल. तो कोई भी अच्छा इंसान होगा ना, जिसको सच में नॉलेज है, वो सिंपल रखेगा चीजों को. क्यों? बिकॉज ही नोज दैट द अदर पर्सन शुड अंडरस्टैंड. Your content should always be relatable and easy to understand. Keep it simple. Consistency. Don't disappear for too long. And then don't sell. Don't make promotional content too often. Structure your content well. These are the 8 unspoken rule of content creation. That's it. I'll end the session here. Any questions for me? I'm here for 15 more minutes. So before going on that, before going on the Q&A, I want to know your real opinions. How did you like the session? Did you like the session? How was it? Did you got to learn anything new?
Yeah, the session was some really actually before the session I don't know many things. Actually I'm also confusing that मैं मतलब अभी फिलहाल ही कम्युनिटी मतलब स्टार्ट किया तो मैंने यार को भी मैसेज किया था भाई कुछ बता यार कैसे करना है कैसे नहीं करना है कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा. तो अब सेशन ज्वाइन किया तो सच्ची में मतलब पता लगा थोड़ा थोड़ा आइडिया है कि हाँ मतलब कैसे स्टार्ट करें कैसे कुछ करने का. इसलिए थैंक यू भाई थैंक यू यार.
Cool, man. Cool. Stay in touch.
Yeah, I also like really like the session. Most of the thing you said, like I already knew. I read it from a blog post, from a YouTube video, or some book, right? But the way you said it and the stories you conveyed your message through stories. Like that was something I really enjoyed it. Also, the audience was really amazing.
यार जो बीच बीच में स्टोरी थी ना वो अच्छी थी. मतलब जो हम देखते हैं मोस्टली सेशंस होते हैं इसमें मतलब ऐसा एक लाइन से चलता है बस जब तक स्टार्ट से एंड तक की बस बोलते बोलते रहते हैं बस बंदे देखते रहते हैं आराम से यार. उनका मतलब कुछ ध्यान नहीं रहता कि क्या पढ़ा रहा क्या नहीं पढ़ा रहा क्योंकि बोरिंग हो जाता है. लेकिन हाँ जो बीच में स्टोरी थी तो उससे मतलब कुछ जैसे मतलब कोई अगर बोर भी होना चाहे तो अगर उसने देखा ना हाँ यार स्टोरी है तो उसका तुरंत एकदम ध्यान जाएगा कि चलो यार स्टोरी चलिए इसे सुनता मैं. तो उस वजह से थोड़ा थोड़ा मतलब एज एन अच्छा था. मतलब अलग ही एक्सपीरियंस था टू बी ऑनेस्ट.
Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Glad you all liked it. और सारे लोग कर लो ना, वीडियो ऑन कर लो, जो भी कर सकते हैं. Who are in a position to turn on your videos. एक साथ में फोटो लेते हैं.
हाँ
Thanks, Ayan. So if I have to summarize, you learned a lot of new things. First thing is bonding versus bridging social capital. Second thing is communities. What are the benefits that you get in the community? Third thing is personal branding, types of content. Yeah, these are the four things that you might have learned something. And I think fifth is memoization. Sixth is keep it simple, stupid. Seventh is dry principle. Don't repeat yourself. So yeah, if you feel you learned anything, go ahead and post it. And yes, मुझे swags मिलते हैं कि नहीं है यार? No, no, I was just kidding. I was just kidding. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. I was just kidding. Yeah. I think we can end this session. I guess सबके
Yeah, actually I have a question. या एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना कि मतलब चीजें तो बहुत हो जाती हैं, जैसे मैं ब्लॉग भी लिखता हूँ, एज एन स्टडी भी हो जाती है, फिर इंस्टा पे भी एज एन मतलब कोडिंग के रिलेटेड डाल देता हूँ, लेकिन कंसिस्टेंसी जो है ना वो नहीं बन पाती। तो उस मतलब वो कंसिस्टेंसी कैसे कायम करें, क्योंकि अगर कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं है तो फिर इतना करने का कुछ फायदा भी नहीं है। तो फिर वो अंदर से फील होता है कि यार यहाँ पढ़ने आए हैं तो घर वालों ने पैसे
किसी के
लगाए तो
साथ
कुछ
करो,
करना है ना।
किसी के साथ करो, किसी को अपने साथ ले लो जो कि रोज करे। 2-3 लोगों को ले लो, 3-4 को ले लो, 3-4 इनफ है। जो कि अब 3-4 को लोगे तो उनमें से एक ना एक तो करेगा। और ये डिसाइड कर लो कि कुछ कोई शीट उठा लो कि उसमें से एक क्वेश्चन रोज करना है, और वो क्वेश्चन ग्रुप पे व्हाट्सएप पे डिस्कस करो। साथ में मत बैठना, क्योंकि जब साथ में बैठते हैं तो फिर तो गॉसिप्स ही होती है। एसिंक्रोनस नहीं करना उसे, चैट के माध्यम से। मतलब डोंट डोंट डू इट ऑन कॉल, डोंट डू इट व्हाइल सिटिंग टुगेदर, डू इट ऑन द चैट एंड नॉट डोंट बी टुगेदर एट द सेम टाइम। ठीक है, जस्ट आस्क those people, find yourself, like अभी देख लो ना, अयान तुम कर लेना आकिब के साथ, या फिर तुषार, वैष्णवी, जो भी इंटरेस्टेड है, एक ग्रुप बना लेना छोटा सा व्हाट्सएप पे। कोई सभी मतलब जो जो इंटरेस्टेड हो आ जाना, और रोज क्वेश्चंस पोस्ट करो। कोई एक बंदा उस पे कर लो पोस्ट, ज्यादा बड़ा मत करना ग्रुप को, नहीं तो ज्यादा बड़ा होता है ना तो फिर सब लोग इग्नोर करते हैं मैसेज, फिर वो तो एकदम डिमोटिवेटिंग आता है।
हाँ
पांच छह लोग बहुत है, 5-6 लोगों का ग्रुप बनाओ व्हाट्सएप पे, और रोज रोज क्वेश्चंस पोस्ट करो, रोज रोज करो। जब 5-6 लोगों के ग्रुप में एक भी मोटिवेट होता है ना, तो सारे लोग हो जाते हैं अपने आप ही। इस चीज को कहते हैं कि ये कुछ तो था ना कि मोटिवेशन इज कंटेजियस। इन व्हेन यू आर मोटिवेटेड, अदर्स अराउंड यू विल ऑटोमेटिकली बिकम मोटिवेटेड।
हाँ, क्योंकि जब वाइब्स आती है तो भी मतलब फील होता है खुद से, यार वो कर रहा है मैं नहीं कर रहा। अगर
Yeah.
फिर जो मतलब जैसे जहाँ मैं रहता हूँ एक्चुअली वहाँ ऐसा कोई एनवायरनमेंट नहीं है
तुम
कि
बनाओ,
मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ पर नहीं बन पा रहा है, दिक्कत ये है।
व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप भी तो है, बनाओ। लिंक्डइन पे डाल दो कि यार मैं आई हैव बी एज रियल एज पॉसिबल, नोबडी केयर्स, पता है, कोई जज नहीं कर रहा। तुम लिंक्डइन पे डालो कि आई वांट सम रियल एंड डेडिकेटेड पीपल, आई वांट टू लर्न कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग, एंड आई वांट some people who want to learn them with me, only 5 or 6 motivated people who can spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes daily। और जो भी कमेंट में लिखे कि हाँ आई एम इंटरेस्टेड, उनके साथ व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप बनाओ।
Yeah, that will be good. Inshallah, I will try.
Yeah. Cool. Bye everyone. See you. Stay in
Bye.
touch, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Madhavan. Thank you, Ayan bhai, for
Thank you for coming.
organizing this season. Thank you. Waiting for another season.